Hey everybody, this is Matt Woolley. This screencast is for EMS 480, and we'll be going over the choice 1 for the sample of 157 roller coasters, and we'll be using the CODAP application. Really quick, how we're going to do it is we're going to go over the first and the third question, just because they're very similar in what they're asking, and then we'll do the second one, and then we'll finish with the fourth one. So without further ado, this first question is regarding the top speed of the older, newer, and more recent roller coasters, and if their top speeds have any difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and I'm going to find the top speeds, and I'm going to drag them over to the x-axis. And as you can see, I've highlighted there are these three categories over here of older, which is before 1980, recent, which is between 1980 and 2000, and then newest, which is after 2000. And very simply, what we're going to do is we're just gonna find the mean of all three of these, and then maybe figure some things out afterwards, and we'll go over the data in a little bit more detail after we've collected it. So we're going to hide all the other pieces, so we're just looking at the older ones, and we're going to find this mean, and we're going to find that the mean is 49.4. So I have that written down. I hope you write that down as well. We're going to go back and show all the cases. We're going to do the same thing for recent, and we're going to see that our mean is still selected, and we're going to hide all the unselected cases just like we did before, and we can see that our mean for the recent has shifted to 58.1. And now we will go back and do what we just did before and show all cases. And now we will click the newest, and we will see what that does for us. And yet again, we will hide all the unselected, and we'll see that it's 66 miles per hour for our median. Again, this is just the mean for each of the three. So again, it's 49.4 miles per hour for the oldest, 58.1 for the recent, and 66 for the newest. What that tells me, it's asking if there are any differences between the top speeds. And as I said, these are the top speeds, and I would say there's definitely a difference. Age definitely makes a difference. There is an association between the age and what the top end speed is. You could make the argument that you can see here that this is the highest speed pretty substantially by 20 miles per hour, and that is one of the newer roller coasters. For this next question, as I said, we're going to be moving on to number 3. If you were to ride a roller coaster before 1980, we can see over here, I guess you just sort of took my word for it last time, but these older roller coasters up here are all before 1980, as we can see right here. And it's asking us to essentially what you would expect for a typical top speed, so your average top speed. And as I said, that average top speed has not changed. To prove it to you, I guess we can just go back and do the exact same thing. It's 49.4. That's what we expect for our average top speed. And now we're going to go back, and we're going to show all of our cases. And we're going to just click on newest and recent. How we click both of them is you press the Command key. For Macs, I'm not sure if that's how it is for PC or Windows. I don't have one. I've never had one, so I'm not very familiar with that, but I'm sure it's something similar. So we're going to hide all the unselected pieces yet again, and we're going to see that the roller coasters after 1980, their average speed is 60.9, and so I think that that about does it for that question. And now we'll move on, and we're going to see. I already have it loaded up here because there's something I wanted to specifically show. But for question 2, we're going to see how the material and the top speed interact. As you can see in this question, does the type of material make a difference in the speed? So what we're going to do is we're just going to highlight all 3 of these. Because this is one extra point here that we'll talk more about in the next question. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it really quick by just going to delete this one. We're just going to delete the case really quick. As we can see here, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to very simply look at the means of it. So we can see that our mean for the steel is 60.6 miles per hour, and our mean for the wooden is 54.5. Surface level, I think you can say, oh, the mean one's a little bit higher than the other one. So you can say it pretty definitively. One thing I would like to point out, since statistics is a science, it's not always exact since you're trying to minimize the work you can do. I would say look at the standard deviation, which is something that I already did, and that's what I wanted to point out. This standard deviation is almost double the size of the steel. The standard deviation is almost double the size of the wood standard deviation, meaning there's a lot more variation in the speeds. However, the average is substantially higher in the steel, so I would say that the type of material does make a difference in the speed. However, not a substantial difference in that case. Now we're going to go back, and I'm just going to undo a little bit just so we can get that point back, the extreme point, and as you can see, I've already filled it in, and we're just going to see if this case changes any of the claims that we've made. As we can see, we'll just go ahead and do it for this steel. And does the material affect the top speed? As we can see, it's a steel roller coaster, and its top speed is 37.3. So it presumably would bring down the mean a little bit, and it will be outside of the standard deviation, so it might make that a little bit larger. But we can always still check. So I'll pop these back up again. As we can see, it's 15.6, so there's no change there. And the mean is 60.4, so yet again, no change. And then obviously for the wood, it stays the same. So I would say that my claim still holds true for the extreme roller coaster whenever we add that one in there. And as we can see, the extreme roller coaster is right here. I took it out for the previous one, as you saw. So I don't think that the extreme roller coaster down in Louisiana makes much of an impact on that one. However, we'll go and investigate the other two questions. So we'll start out with the first question. Does the age affect the speed? This roller coaster was built in 2007, so it's not going to have an impact on the older or the recent ones. And so just a reminder, the older mean was 49.7. The more recent one was 58.1, and now we're going to check to see if the newest mean has been affected at all. And as I said, to add on this point, we're just going to hit Command, and we can see it has popped up there, and our mean is now 60.7. Oh, excuse me, sorry, I did not hide the unselected pieces, did I? How silly. So now we can see that our mean is 65.4. Originally it was 66. And I believe my claim will hold true for this question, because the mean is still larger for the coasters built after 2007. Now we'll go over this question. What would you expect the average top speed, or the typical top speed for roller coasters for 1980? As I said, it was built in 2007, so we wouldn't expect the speed of roller coasters before 1980 to change at all. And just a reminder, is 49.4 miles per hour. However, it might have changed a little bit for the ones after, so we're going to check that out really quick. And as I said, I'm just hitting Command, and I'm tagging along with that one as well, and we're going to get rid of the older pieces, or the older cases, as we have done so many times before. And we're going to see that our mean is 60.7. I believe our previous mean was 60.9 miles per hour, so there is a slight bit of change there, but surely not enough to suggest that the older coasters are quicker. However, that's not what the question is asking for. So we will be content with saying 60.7 and 60 as opposed to 60.9, and then obviously the older roller coasters hold the same. Thank you for listening to my screencast, and I hope you learned a few things about CODAP.